Thanks to the supporters of channel member Length. Promise is a promise, Mrs Wearmouth. I've just got to figure out a way to do it. Yeah, it was all part of it. I said if we hit 100,000 subscribers this week, I'll get as close to a hot tub stream as I can. So I've bought a paddling pool. It's a dog paddling pool. It was the only one with hard sides that Dave won't savage. I'll get it set up in the garden. I'll figure out a way to get a microphone and some camera out there. Some camera. I'm such a pro. No, it will probably be rubbish, but I don't know what I'm supposed to have done. This is the best I can do. Tonight, 7 o'clock, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. It's going to be a disaster. I'm welcome to part 128 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we face Dynamo in the Conference League and Tottenham in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, we've got through a chunk of games, largely without losing. The one defeat in there was away against Liverpool in the Premier League, but you can see we've started our Europa Conference League campaign rather well. A 2-0 win over Dynamo Tbilisi, a 3-0 win over Starbet in them ones. We have managed to get ourselves knocked out. Oh no, did we win? We won in the Carabao Cup. We almost got knocked out by a lower league team again. Well, in fact, I think Bristol City are in the Premier League now. They are. So drawing 0-0 and getting through on penalties, we are just about still in that, but we're probably going to get knocked out in the next round against Chelsea because we insist on playing the reserves in the Carabao Cup, as we should in our first season in Europe. So after the dodgy start to the Premier League season, we've made a little bit of a recovery. This is what the Premier League table looks like. 8 games in and with a game in hand on everybody above us. We're on 11 points. If we win this game in hand, which is the game against whoever we're playing, Tottenham. In fact, that's not even the game in hand. We'll have 2 games in hand by the time we play them. If we were to win the game in hand, we'd be up into 6th place in a European qualification spot again. So we are in the midst of a recovery. Brighton currently top of the Premier League, which is a very interesting one. And James Francisco is the top scorer in the Premier League. We actually have a proper goal scorer. It's not Villalobos, it's Francisco. 8 goals from 8. He's actually largely been playing up front on his own in the 4-3-3. We've been doing quite a lot of that, or alongside Villalobos, or sometimes Jordi, sometimes Juan Jose. We're trying him with lots of different partners, but he is, without doubt, our striker now. And Villalobos is just going to have to fight his way back into the team. I think Francisco's even considered our best player. In fact, Park is again. I looked at that previously, and it was Francisco. Good to see Douglas Allen on there as the hot prospect as well. One of the defenders that we brought in the summer. But in order for our recovery to continue, we need a couple of wins today. A win in this match in the Conference League goes a long way towards securing our qualification. It would put us on 9 points from the first 3 games. And I mean, especially if they draw, we're all but there. So a win would be very nice. And then it would be double nice to do it against Tottenham in the league as well. The other big piece of news that is probably going to be of interest to some of you, Perez has played in all the cup games so far, or most of the cup games. It seems I've forgot to play him in a couple of them. But he's played 1 in Europe. He's played 1 in the Carabao Cup. I played him in the last Premier League game. I'm not going to say I dropped Alex Williams for the game against Birmingham, but I'd been very impressed with Perez in the games that I'd seen him. His star rating is almost as good as Williams already, and he's got much better potential. If Perez plays well again today, he might be our new first choice goalkeeper. I make no promises, but Perez might be forcing his way into the team. So this is the team for the game against Dynamo. I really like the look of the 4-3-3. So this is what we're going with. I think until we find another Gregoire-style, tough tackling central midfielder, we kind of have to do the 3 in there, with Passotti taking on that role, even though he's not exactly a tough tackler, but he's got 11 for tackling. He's a defensive midfielder. He just shores us up a little bit defensively and allows the front 5 to go and do what they're good at going and doing. So it's not ideal. I'd like another attacking player in there, but we have to work with the squad that we've got, and it's forced this change, and it actually seems to work quite well. So Perez in goal, a back 4 of Perisato, Kavalik, Anderson and Todd Thomas. Passotti at the base of the midfield, Alibasic and Oliveira ahead of him, Richardson and Park out wide, and then Francisco up front as our lone striker, superstar pressing forward, who just fits into this system in particular really, really well. I really like the way that he's been playing, and Villalobos probably needs to start training for playing out wide. To be honest, with the goal return Villalobos has given us in the last 2 years, if he wants to learn to play out on the wing, it's probably not going to be the end of the world for him. He's reasonably quick and he's not a goal scorer or not consistent enough. No, I mean, Francisco is scoring goals at the kind of rate at the moment that I've been looking for forever. You know how much I talk about wanting to have a goal a game striker. At the moment, we've got one. So fingers crossed, he continues banging in the goals. Kavalik then at the back. He has been playing at left back mostly, but with the lack of centre backs we've got at the club, he's getting his share of game time there as well. And he's just slotted straight into the first team squad. He doesn't look out of place in either position. He's just a very, very good defender. Similar to how Todd Thomas entered the team last year and never looked out of place. Francisco from range, and it goes just wide at the base of the post. A goal there would have been a very handy way to start what could be a potential banana skin. I mean, Dynamo are the other team that are on 2 wins from the first 2 games. We're clearly the 2 best teams in this group. We should be the 2 teams that qualify comfortably for the knockout rounds. But it would be nice for us to just get things wrapped up sooner rather than later. And a win against them is a good way to do that, especially winning against them away from home. Ali Basic's just missed a big, big opportunity there. My YouTube plaque has just fallen off the wall. That's my vlog one. It's obvious. I mean, it's done. It's ready to be replaced with the one for this channel now. It's all smashed up where it keeps falling down. There you go. That's what a YouTube plaque looks like. We'll just retire that. There you go. We'll leave that gap. The gap is there now, ready for the one for this channel when that arrives. Richardson to Oliveira. Oliveira hits the post. We've had some chances early on in this game. Oliveira again can't get the cross back over. It remains 0-0. 10 minutes to go in this first half. We have been threatening, but not yet managed to get the breakthrough. And this is where we look down at the attacking players that we've got on the bench and wonder if maybe a switch to the 4-2-4 in the second half might just allow us to make that breakthrough. But then I guess we have to decide, are we happy with a draw away from home against the other good team in the group? And I guess we probably are. And we no longer even need to think about it because Park is in just before half-time. Already an 8th goal of the season for him. We were talking about how many goals Francisco's scoring. Park is running goal for goal with him almost at the moment. He's played slightly more games, so he's not quite got the goal per game ratio. But Park's playing on the wing and banging in the goals for fun as well. And that puts us 1-0 up just on the stroke of half-time. And that is exactly where we wanted to be. No changes needed at half-time now. And we've not really seen Perez be tested. In fact, I say not really. They've not even had a shot. Never mind a shot on target. Dynamo not having a shot. I said we're the 2 good teams in the group. It looks very, very one-sided. It's not like we're 2 evenly matched sides. We're comfortably the best team in this group, and Dynamo are just better than the other 2 teams who really don't look very good at all. Anderson with the free kick. I'm not sure why Anderson's taking it rather than being the man who gets on the end of it, but they've given the ball to Richardson here. He wasn't expecting it, doesn't really know what to do with it. He's got no one around him to help him. Someone get in position where they can take the ball off of him. Perisato eventually hits a cross that I think was aimed at Park, didn't get anywhere near him, and it's back into the hands of the goalkeeper, and we are going to look at making some changes for fitness reasons. So Elias can come on for Anderson at the back there. Who else looks like they could do with a little bit of a rest? We'll take off Park. AD Lillis can come on for him. And you know what? We might take off Richardson as well. We've got someone to come on for him. Fulneck can play on the left wing. Fulneck's a weird one because he can play defensive midfield, left wing, or striker. And we signed him to play as a striker. He's actually getting more game time out on this left-hand side. We'll just make him an inside forward over there. Lillis on the right. And we get to have a look at 2 of our current young players who are trying to make the breakthrough into this team. Oliveira then playing it back to Perisato, and now Passotti, who just seems very, very comfortable playing in that deep line playmaker role in front of the back 4. He's never spectacular. He's just tidy. He's a tidy little player in there. And sometimes you need a tidy midfielder just sat in front of your defence. You're never going to notice him as a match winner. He's never really going to get much in the way of ratings, but I think he's a very important part of why we've managed to turn around that terrible start to the season by switching to this system. I think we've got a penalty here as well. Park driving into the area. He's brought down. The ref is wandering over to the penalty spot. And do you want to point at it, ref? Are you talking? You're chatting on the phone quickly. I think we are getting a penalty. We have a penalty. Not sure who our penalty taker is based on who's on the pitch. Who is number 30? Passotti. We were just talking about Passotti, and he's got himself a goal as well. 2-0 to home. Certainly no less than we deserve. 2-0 up, 20 minutes remaining. And now we'd just like to have a nice little look at Lillis and Folneck. And it would be nice to see Perez get tested. It's weird for me to be rooting for the opposition to try and do something, but it's really difficult to judge whether Perez should play against Tottenham based on a game where he's not really had to touch the ball. We've not seen a highlight with him in. So, I don't know. I'm probably going to be flipping a coin for the Tottenham game, and I guess the situation should be, if I'm flipping a coin to decide which one of them to play, I should be playing the one with the best long-term upside. It should be Perez getting the start, but I don't know if I've got the bottle to do it, especially having seen him not even react to that. I think it's being disallowed for offside, but even with the offside disallowed decision, he didn't even make an attempt to save that. That's the one thing we've seen him have to do. Let's just keep an eye on him. Yes, it's offside. That moment might be Alex Williams back in for the Tottenham game. I'm gonna have a ponder. I'll stroll to the end of the garden and ponder about it. That is a lovely ball over the top from Cavalic. Can Francisco grab his goal to continue his goal a game? He can. A 92nd minute goal, an 11th goal of the season for Francisco in all competitions. It was a lovely ball over the top from Cavalic. Was it him? Yeah, Elias plays it across to him. First time, just realises how far they've pushed forward and how quick Francisco is. I think he's got a 17 for both pace and acceleration. He is rapid. He showed it there. Comfortable 3-0 win away from home. This Conference League is a piece of cake. Right, I've convinced myself to give Perez a run of games. So Perez is going to get a run of games. We should probably take him off the loan list to celebrate. So he is no longer available for loan. So he stays in with Williams sitting on the bench. Very sad. He's only 28. He's got 10 more years left in him. He could play. He could genuinely play 1,000 games for the club. 1,000 league games if we didn't have this young upstart coming in to try and get in his way. I'm talking myself into dropping him again. But no, we go with Perez. And we're also bringing Elias back into the team so Cavalic can move out to left back. And we actually play with proper fullbacks for the first time in goodness knows how long. And they're both homegrown academy dealies, which is, it's just nice. Lovely to see. Other than that, it is the same team you've just seen play in Europe. Just Elias coming in for Parasato is the only change. And I think, in the absence of Fazekas, this is probably my first choice back four now. I think when Fazekas is fit, we have to decide whether he comes in for Elias or Anderson. Obviously, Anderson is the one with the most experience and probably slightly edging it for current ability at the moment. But similar to the situation in goal with Perez and Williams, Elias is almost as good as Anderson and has way more upside with the 5-star potential. The question, I guess, then becomes, when we're already playing youngsters with major potential at fullback, who might not be as good as, like Parasato, current ability is probably better than both of them. How many players in our defence can we effectively experiment with at the same time? It's not an issue right now, but Fazekas will be fit again relatively soon, and I'm going to have a decision to make about who he partners and who my first choice back four is going to be. It's going to look a lot like this one. Maybe Fazekas in for Anderson is what I'm leaning towards at the moment. But then it becomes a very, very young back five without the experience of Williams and Anderson in there. Right, Park has got a counter-attack on here. It's 2-on-2, playing it through to Francisco. If he can slide it back across to Park, Park actually weirdly held his run up and stayed outside the penalty area, leaving Francisco to go it alone. And the angle was too tight on his weaker foot. And Richardson, with the corner looking for that far post. The fact he's gone far post suggests I've not set up set piece instructions on this 4-3-3, which doesn't seem like me at all. That is a lovely ball in for Francisco and great goalkeeping from the Tottenham goalkeeper. Goodness me, it was a fantastic pass. And Francisco using his ridiculous pace to get to it, but the goalkeeper was equal to him and got there, blocked what has been the best chance of this first half. It remains 0-0 at half-time. We've looked very good again, but we do need to get that goal breakthrough and keep things tight at the other end. And we haven't done, I mean, it's taken 15 seconds at the second half for Spurs to grab a goal. And I'm already looking at Perez thinking, does Williams save that? This is going to be the hardest thing for Perez. Often in these situations, because I'm going to be forever comparing him against Williams, even if he eventually fights Williams off, it'll always have the shadow of Williams hanging over him. It might be that it's the next goalkeeper after Perez who becomes the forever one, and Perez will always be the guy who was unfavourably compared with Williams. I'll try not to let that happen, but I've played this game for long enough to know that that might well be what I end up doing, because I do have a habit of scapegoating goalkeepers. I just need to try not to. Williams probably doesn't save that either, but there's just no way of testing. See, Perez has made a good save there. We've got to give him credit. It's a good save. Right, we are looking towards potentially switching up the tactic on the hour mark if we're still behind, because we can stick an extra striker on, sacrifice maybe Ali Basic, and go to the 4-2-4. We'll just see. If we grab an equaliser here, we certainly won't be doing that. But Villalobos needs to get himself warming up. He's about to come on. Assuming I've actually got him on the bench. I have got him on the bench. Excellent. This is not what we want to see from our young defensive unit. Lots of knocking it around between them and potentially getting themselves in trouble. They got away with it that time, but it looked a little bit too close for comfort a couple of times in amongst all of that. And now Tottenham coming at us again, and he's beaten from range quite comfortably. I mean, he's on a 7.2, so supposedly he's having a good game. What do you think? Comment section. I know a lot of you are naturally biased against Williams because you loved Green. But try and take Jack Green out of the equation. Is Perez the man? Or is he not? We can't just have an anyone but Williams vote. Right, let's switch things up to the 4-2-4. We're going to keep Passotti on. And we're going to keep Oliveira on. I think we're giving up Alibasic here. In fact, we're going to take off Oliveira because he's on a yellow card. We don't want both of our midfielders on a yellow card. Francisco can play alongside Villalobos. And that will do for now. We'll potentially make another change, or we will probably make another change or two fairly soon, but we'll give this 10 minutes to see if Francisco and Villalobos can conjure some stuff up together, recapture their form from the latter half of last season. Here's Richardson in behind. He's got both of them to aim for in the middle, and he doesn't find either of them. It looked like there was going to be chaos for a second, but then their goalkeeper dominantly coming out and controlling his area again. I tell you what, this Tottenham goalkeeper is impressive. And they're in here, and Perez makes the save this time. And I want a goalkeeper who plays like he's playing. Unbelievably, Perez has got a higher rating than him so far, supposedly. Right, Park needs to come off. I am going to stick Villalobos out there on the wing, so I want to get Veloso on. So I think Veloso probably is the future as a striker to go alongside Francisco as I get closer and closer to deciding I'm done with Villalobos. And then we're going to bring Wally on in midfield. We're going to go with that. And we're going to demand more again and hopefully grab a goal. Anderson with the free kick from range. And we've seen him scoring before. But that time, it never really looked like it was threatening the goalkeeper. A goalkeeper of this quality wasn't going to be beaten from that kind of range. And as it stands, we're all the way down in 13th place in the league. We do have games in hand on everybody above us. But still, I've said it a gazillion times. I'd rather have the place in the league than the games in hand. And how patient is Mrs Wearmouth going to be? This is the first time she's not just given me an instruction to battle bravely against relegation. She's actually looking for mid-table this year. And we're, I don't know, he's 13th mid-table. Veloso's done very well here. Veloso from range. Maybe should take an extra touch because he's another one who's very quick. He's clear of the defenders. He doesn't need to shoot from as far out as he did. And again, you're not going to beat this goalkeeper with that kind of effort. That was frustrating because Tottenham were very good. But let's not read too much into it. Similar to those first couple of matches of the season, when we're playing against the really good teams, we are struggling a little bit. The only problem we've got is in our next two games, we face Chelsea and Manchester City. So potentially we've got more of that medicine to take before we can get back to winning ways. And looking at December is going to be a crucial month for us. Brighton, Bristol City, Bournemouth, Leicester, Everton, Villa. We need to be winning all of them if we're going to qualify for Europe this year. So no pressure or anything, lads. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.